Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And we're going to get right down to business. We're going to talk Knicks. We're going to talk Wizards. The Knicks got blown out by the Milwaukee Bucks the other night, whenever it was, last night. Maybe it was last night, the other night. I don't know. Time seems to fly. But we're going to talk about the Knicks and Wizards tonight. Let's get busy, ladies and gentlemen. That's the thing. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you see that man right there, RJ Barrett. He's going to have his work cut out for him as he guards Bradley Beal. That's going to be, got his work cut out for him. But let's talk about that later. Right now, let's just take a look at what to expect as far as lineups and all that kind of stuff. The New York Knicks head coach is Mike Miller. The projected starters for the New York Knicks. Sorry, that's not Frank Ntilikina. Let me change that for you because he's no longer starting. And, you know, if I was a little smarter, I might have told you guys that I left Frank Ntilikina in there on purpose so that I could bring home the point that Elfrid Payton is starting. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put it up there and say Elfrid Payton is starting at point guard. RJ Barrett is starting at shooting guard. Marcus Morris at small forward. Julius Randle at power forward. And Taj Gibson, as far as I know, but I haven't, listen, I've been off social media for the most part today. So I haven't seen a whole lot of everything. But as far as I know, Taj Gibson is still starting at center. And if it changes, then I'll change it. That's what I know right now. For the Washington Wizards, the head coach is Scott Brooks. Starting for the Washington Wizards is Ish Smith, Bradley Beal. I think Troy Brown is going to start at small forward with Isaac Bonga at power forward and Mahimi at center because they've got a slew of guys out. Isaiah Thomas is out due to suspension. Davis Bertans is out. Jordan McRae is out. Rui Hachimura is out. They got a bunch of guys out. So I'm not exactly sure what this lineup is going to look like. So right now I'm taking my best guess on who's going to be there. All right? So forgive me if I have something wrong. That's why I put up at the top projected starters, ladies and gentlemen. The projected starters for tomorrow night. They play at 7 p.m., so it's a little bit earlier than usual. So make sure you got that on your radar. They play at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, which means that we'll be on a little bit earlier too, probably 10 instead of 10:30. They play at Madison Square Garden. You can see it on local TV on MSG. You can listen to it on ESPN New York 98.5. Now, let's take a look at some of the numbers behind this game. All right, the Knicks are 7-23. The Washington Wizards are 8-20. At the moment, the Knicks are on a 2-game losing streak. They just lost to the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks on back-to-back nights. Okay? The Knicks average 103.1 points per game. They give up 112.4 points per game. They shoot 42.8% from the field, 34.4% from three. They average 45.5 rebounds per game, 20.7 assists per game, and 14.3 turnovers per game. Their offensive rating is 103.9. That's 28th in the league. And their defensive rating is 113.1. That's 26th in the league. For the Washington Wizards, like I said, they're 8-20. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They average 117.4 points per game, but they give up 121.9 points per game. Their defense is terrible. Terrible defense. The question is going to be, can we score with them? Because we don't have, our defense is rated 26th in the league. So it's not like we have this superior defense. But they have a top 5 offense. Again, they gave up 121.9 points per game. They shoot 46.6% from the field and 36.7% from three. They average 41.4 rebounds per game, 27.3 assists and 14.3 turnovers per game. Their offensive rating is 112.1. That's 4th in the league. Their defensive rating is 116.2. Again, that's terrible. That's 30th in the league. Key matchup for tomorrow night, Bradley Beal, R.J. Barrett. All right, Bradley Beal, 6'3", 207 pounds. He averages 28.2 points per game, 5 rebounds a game, 7 assists per game, 1.1 steals per game. He shoots 44.4% from the field and 33% from three. You guys know this was a guy that I really advocated for the Knicks to try to make a move for until he re-upped with the Washington Wizards with that contract. After that, I don't know. I don't know. We're not in that position. R.J. Barrett, 6'6", 214 pounds, forward. He averages 13.9 points per game, 5.2 rebounds per game, 2.8 assists, and 1.1 steals per game. He's shooting 38.9% from the field and 30.3% from three. And look, when the season first started, R.J. Barrett was playing good. Everybody was like, wow, this kid, he's killing. The rookie caught up to him. The rookiness caught up to him. So he's not shooting as well as he was earlier in the season, and that's okay. The kid still has crazy potential, and he's going to be a special player in this league, I think. But he's going up against Bradley Beal. He's going to have to be on his defensive. He's going to have to be on his cues, man. Going to have to be on his cues so he can play defense against this guy. Because Bradley Beal can shoot it from the outside. He can go to the basket. He's a strong player. He's a smart player. I really do like Bradley Beal, and I like his game. I really do. R.J. Barrett's going to have to be on his game. R.J. Barrett's going to have to make him play some defense. He'll do that because R.J. Barrett's going to go to the basket. He's going to score his buckets. He's going to put some pressure on Bradley Beal and make Bradley Beal have to play some defense. Hopefully, R.J. Barrett has one of those nights where it's knocking down an outside shot. That's what I hope. We'll see. We'll see. And, this might be a team that lets them because, again, they're not a good defensive team. But Bradley Beal is a decent defender. So, one-on-one, Bradley Beal, he'll be defending R.J. Barrett. But I'm hoping R.J. Barrett can get off. Keys to this game, ladies and gentlemen. One, we got to bring back the energy. We got to bring it back. Okay, we had 2 games where, because of the competition, I guess, we really, really looked lackluster on that energy. On the energy. It shouldn't happen, but it did. So now let's see if we can get it back. Okay, let's get it back. Let's come back with that energy and play some spirited basketball. We need to be focused on defense. Like I said, these guys they're a potent offensive team. Potent, ladies and gentlemen. They're the 3rd highest scoring team in the league. They're 7th in field goal percentage. They're 4th in three-point shooting and three-point field goal percentage. So we've got to be focused on defense. All right, we really got to cue in. Really got to cue in. We need to guard this three-point line, folks. Let's not let them get loose from three. Like I said, they're the 4th best three-point shooting team in the league at 36.7%. They'll get hot. Now, here's where it's going to help us. They're not strong in the paint. They're not a team that's strong in the paint. See, when we played the Milwaukee Bucks, you got Giannis, you got Brook Lopez, you got guys that can really get at you in the paint. They're one of the top scoring teams in the paint, like 54 points per game in the paint or something like that. So the strategy that Mike Miller implemented was to sag deep into the paint, guard the paint, and take our chances from the three-point line. Well, it came back to bite us because they knocked down the first 6 threes of the game. Right off Jump Street, and we couldn't score with them. See, we don't have that problem with the Washington Wizards because they're not that strong in the paint. Okay? So we don't have that problem. So we should be able to do a better job guarding the three-point line. We also need to help out on Bradley Beal because R.J. Barrett, this is going to be a task for R.J. Barrett to guard Bradley Beal. And he's guarded, he's played against some other decent guards, but it's going to be a task. So we need guys to help out, make sure we're giving enough help to make so that he doesn't go crazy on RJ Barrett. All right, so we got to help out on Bradley Beal. Next up, score in the paint. The Wizards give up 51.6 points per game in the paint. We got guys that can score in the paint. Mitchell Robinson with that alley-oop game. Julius Randle can score in the paint. Marcus Morris can post up sometimes. Taj Gibson can score in the paint, do posting up. RJ Barrett can get to the cup. Maybe it's time to use Alonzo Trier. He can get to the cup. Let Trier get to the cup. But we need to put some pressure on these guys and score in the paint. But let's not be wild. Let's stay disciplined offensively, okay? Continue whatever it is that Mike Miller is trying to implement. We got to continue to do it. Make it a habit. Make what he's implementing a habit. Whatever he is enforcing, make it a habit. Those are my keys to the game, ladies and gentlemen. I want to know what you think. I don't have a whole lot of time. But I wanted to make sure we got on here and did a game preview tonight. Right? I got some guys in the video chat. We're going to talk with these guys, see what they think. Right now I got Guillermo, I got Nate. See what these guys talking about. All right, let's start off with Nate, since Nate was in here already. Nate, what's going on with you, man?
Chilling.
So talk to me, man. What do you think about this game? How you feeling about it?
Well, I didn't know that those they had so many players out. I mean, stupid for the Knicks not to win this game because, we don't even know who they're going to roll out on the other side.
That's the truth. We don't know who they're going to roll out there, man.
Yeah, and throw Isaiah Thomas in there, too, because he got suspended 2 games.
Right.
So he's out. So, yeah, man.
What did he get suspended for? What did he get suspended for?
I don't know. I saw part of it, but it was something with a fan, I think. He got in an altercation or something, and I don't know. I saw part of it. I didn't read all the details.
Huh.
But it was something with a fan. I think they were talking, or a fan said something to him in the stands, and he got into them, and he got into it with a fan or verbal. I don't know. I don't know all the details.
Huh.
I'd have to look into it. See?
I don't like Isaiah Thomas.
I don't either.
I don't like him. I watch him. I don't know. I don't like him. Don't like him. Go ahead, Nate.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, this is a great matchup for us because, they don't play really good defense. And, I feel that the Knicks have gotten really good at attacking the rim. And like I said, they don't really have a shot blocker outside of Thomas Bryant. So I think that the Knicks have a really good opportunity to get a win.
Yeah, Thomas Bryant is also out.
Oh, okay. Well, then then there's really no enforcer in there. So yeah, it should be open season on the basket for the Knicks.
And let's hope so. But yeah, Thomas Bryant is out. I think he's out for a few weeks. I think somewhere around December 3rd or 4th, he sprained. He did something, and he's out for a couple of weeks. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Guillermo, coming to you, man. Coming to you. What's going on, man?
Yeah, so their top players are basically, their top scorers are Bradley Beal, Davis Bertans, Thomas Bryant, Roy Hudson-Mera, and Isaiah Thomas.
Right.
And after that, it goes to guys like Moritz Wagner and Ish Smith. So I was looking at this. If Davis Bertans is out, Thomas Bryant is out, Roy Hachimura is out, and Isaiah Thomas is out, I'm not saying it should be an easy win, but if our coaching and our discipline is improving, this should be a game that we should definitely win, and probably by a sizable margin. Because look, Bradley Beal's their best scorer, but he also has the highest assist, right? He's averaging 7 assists a game. Versus Ish Smith, who I think is probably one of the more underrated guards in terms of facilitating. He can't shoot really, but he's a slasher who can really, really facilitate. And he's only averaging, 4.3 assists, which means that basically Bradley Beal's pulling off the non-championship Kobe, right? He's just jacking up a bunch of shots. He's averaging 28.2%, which is 28.2 points a game, which is great. But it's on 31.3% 3-point shooting, which is terrible, and 40.5% field goal shooting. Which sorry, those are the last 10 games. I apologize. Those are his last 10 games for the season, which also that's pretty bad if that's his last 10 games. And then for the season, he's shooting 33% from three, which is god awful, and 44.4% field goal shooting, which is good. So basically, he's slashing well. He's shooting terribly from deep, and he's basically trying to do everything right. It's one of those things that you saw when him and John Wall were there, and they always put this bad light on John Wall, like John Wall was the issue. And I think it was probably Bradley Beal just wanted this to be his team. Maybe he's not a guy who cares about winning per se, but this team only has 8 wins, and he's having 28 points a game. He's basically just a glorified shooter, a glorified scorer, and I think he's talented. Don't get me wrong; he could be good, but again, he's not a number one guy. For some reason, he always kills the Knicks. So to me, man, if we're disciplined, RJ Barrett got to be smart. He's shooting terribly from the three. Force him to shoot from the three. Don't let him slash because he's a very good slasher and finisher. Just basically keep him out. They're basically playing right now on fumes right now, and they're not a good defensive team. So we should be attacking. We should be trying to draw fouls as much as possible, get in the paint. I heard you guys talking about Randall. Again, Randall has to understand team game. Worry about getting the pass to the right guy, and maybe only putting up 20 versus trying to go for 30, trying to do everything, trying to like an all-star, which you're not, and making this an individual game. This is a team game where we should see tomorrow 6-7 guys in double digits. We should see we should see assists, above 30 or above, excuse me, I said above 20 assists. It shouldn't be one of these poor games where you're trying to go ISO and be hero ball. So again, I'm not trying to shit on the Wizards, but this is a team that we should beat. Just given the fact that everything goes through Bill, and Bill is not shooting at terribly great percentages.
Right. And looking at how many injuries they have and all that stuff, it should be a win that we go out here and get. You never know with these guys, but it should be a win that we go out here and get. I'm hoping that it is.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing with Fizz, though, right? With Fizz, though, he was so frustrating because there were games where you thought we shouldn't have won, and we either ended up winning, which was very few, or we were close. And then there are games like the Cavaliers games where it's like, yo, we should have this team, and then we're losing by 20. So if this is to see the development with this coach, this should be a game that I don't want to say we shouldn't struggle because you could any given night, right? But this is a game that if we're playing the right way, and this team, the Wizards, they're in disarray. If we're playing the right way, this should be a double-digit win in terms of the balls getting around. RJ Barrett doesn't have to clap for the ball from Randall. And I think if Randall does that, man, I think Mike Miller, because look, Mike Miller's favoring Payton right now. He's not really playing Frank and the other guys, and I can't blame him. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I like Frank, Frank has to come on and show out. DJ the same way. I'm less for the excuses of how old they are. And hey, bro, if Payne's not a great shooter, but you see him pushing the ball, you see him get into the paint, you see him basically giving the defense fits just by pushing the envelope. And it's like Frank has to, we could talk about, hey, you got to give him, hey, at some point you got to get your big boy pants on. You gotta kind of build up that own confidence, man. Your testicular fortitude got to kick in, and you got to be aggressive, man. Like, I can't keep saying the coaches got to meet you halfway. Yeah, they got to meet you halfway, but you got to meet them there as well, man. So, again, this game, if we're going to see development for Mike Miller, discipline, smart defense, again, give Bradley Beal space. Unless he gets hot. Bradley Beal, when he gets hot, he could be dangerous. He's like a poor man's Kobe that he could get, whitish hot when he's hot, especially against the Knicks. I've seen him just go, crazy. But again, smart discipline, smart defense, push the ball around. They don't have basically most of their guys. This should be a game where we should see so much ball movement, and we should be adapting. Hey, if we're not shooting well, get it to the paint. Guys should be cutting to the basket. RJ Barrett, cutting to the basket. Make it easy. It should not be a terribly difficult game.
Okay. Before I move on to Isaiah, just want to ask you one thing. You liking that Godfather 4, ain't you?
Bruh. Let me tell you guys something, man. That Godfather 4 on Davies, who I'm not the biggest fan of, man. Go check that song out, man. I gotta give I listened to that beat. We did the front stoop on Friday, and I like to let like songs that I like I like fall in love with quickly. I like to like let them like just don't play it. But I couldn't like once I heard that beat knock again, I was like, oh man, come on, man. Like the beat is just it's too glorious, man. And then of
Crazy.
course Nas on a song that's on his album, it fits him perfectly well. But of course, why would it be on his album? But yeah, man, go check it out. Godfather Part 4, man.
Yeah,
That beat is
it's crazy.
He doesn't really even rap on it. It's just Nas just
yeah.
Yeah, back to the chat, man.
You know,
man.
the way that song plays out, and I know this is not a hip hop channel, ladies and gentlemen. You come here to listen to the Knicks, but the way that song plays out, I feel like it was a Nas song, and he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna let you have it for your album." That's what I feel like happened.
You know what that reminds me of, Sim? Remember when J. Cole did Let Down Nas, and then he did the remix where Nas basically rapped on it? Like I feel like that beat was basically for not for Jay-Z, excuse me, for Nas. I feel like that beat was for Nas, and then he let basically Nas just rap the remix. Like there's certain beats where it's like damn, just like even like Dear Summer with Jay-Z. That was actually on Memphis Bleak's album, but the song was perfect for Jay-Z. So there's just certain songs where it's like, you know what, yeah, I know the producer gave me this, but you know, Nas, whoever, just you got it. Just take it. Just put it on my album. So, you know, it's nice, but you know, if you guys haven't heard it, just play Godfather Part 4, man. That beat gives me goosebumps, man.
Yeah, Godfather 4 on Dave East's album is pretty dope. Isaiah, coming to you, man. Talk to me about this Wizards game, Knicks Wizards. What's up?
Hey, guys, I got 2 side notes, Sim. There's 2 side notes.
All right.
I mess with Davies. That Davies album was fire, first of all. Davies album was definitely fire,
I like the album.
in my opinion.
Yeah,
some people
had
like mixed reviews about it, but it was definitely good to me. And then I liked Purple Haze. Purple Haze 2 was fire.
We can't get that deep into talking about music right now, man. All right,
my bad.
We can't get that deep into it. You missed your chance on the front stoop to get that deep into it.
Yeah,
I just wanted
I know.
You know. But go ahead, talk to me about the Wizards, man. The Knicks and Wizards. Talk to me about the Knicks and Wizards.
Tim, I'm just hoping. I'm hoping this is not a trap game. This is not a trap game. The Knicks see all these guys is out and they fall asleep, and they don't come out aggressive, and they let Bradley Beal go 25, score 25 out of 30 points for the Wizards in the first quarter. I don't want the Knicks to fall asleep. I want them to do what they did to Atlanta. I want a wire-to-wire win. Listen, there's too many guys. The guy that's shooting like 40% from 3, he's out, right?
They got a whole bunch of people out.
Yeah, so I mean, whoever the dude, I think that dude's out. The dude that's shooting he shoots like 8 threes and shoots like 40%. I believe he's out. So, this is an opportunity for the Knicks just to root them. Pretty much all you got to do is guard Bradley Beal and Ish Smith. I mean, it's easier said than done. But if you pretty much pack the paint for Ish Smith, you should be good. Just make him become a shooter. Bradley Beal, the same thing. Like Guillermo said, he's shooting like 31%. Unless he gets hot,
he's shooting 33%. He's shooting 33% from 3, and he's shooting 40-something% from 40-something% from the field. 44% from the field.
So what you really want to do, you just want to pack the paint more and just like I said, like stop Ish Smith and Bradley Beal, so that try to get them out.
Well, I don't want to pack the paint too much because this team is 4th in the league in shooting threes. I don't know. I mean, Ish Smith, I don't feel like they're going to be too much of a threat in the paint. They don't score a lot of points in the paint. We got to watch Ish Smith from getting into the paint. I think that's the only guy.
Yeah, so the Knicks, I hate saying the Knicks should win, but, the way the Knicks have been playing lately, this should be a win, the game that Knicks should win. Again, what Guillermo was saying, because Guillermo hit it mostly on the head with everything, just tell Julius Randle, let's play team ball. Let's get the ball moving. You know what I noticed, Sim, about the last 2 games? The Knicks lost and got blown out.
Yeah.
If you notice, Jimmy Butler and Giannis, they didn't even average 25 or 30. They let everybody else eat. You know, they played unselfish basketball. And I want Randall to, like, you know, if I was Mike Millison, I would show him what Giannis and Jimmy Butler did those last 2 games against us. Oh, you know, those two didn't even, like, they didn't go crazy. They didn't score 40 points. Nah, they let everybody else eat. And then you see the Knicks was still getting blown out, even though Giannis had, like, I
Well,
think, like
the only thing
13, 14 points, and Jimmy Butler had like 15 points at some point, and the Knicks are getting blown out by 30. That just shows you that, like, the superstar don't got to score, you know, a gazillion points to have a team. If you play team ball, you know, a lot more stuff open up. So I want Randall to take that and go forward with that and play more team ball and open up for everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I understand everything that you're saying. There's a big difference between both of those teams, though. And I don't know what you're doing with your cell phone right now, but there's a difference between those teams in that they have guys that can put the ball in the hole. You know what I'm saying? We, regardless who's shooting the ball, from Julius Randle on down, besides Marcus Morris from 3, we cannot shoot the ball. Right? We can't. We don't hit shots. We don't hit shots. So,
But my thing is, though, I feel like we do got the guys to make the shots. Like, you know, we got Zoe, got
bro,
Knox, but I feel like we don't put them in the best position to shoot the ball.
Bro, we don't. I mean, I can guarantee you can go back, and I'm not defending Julius Randle on anything right now, right? But you can go back and see, not Marcus Morris as much, but you can see Elfrid Payton get in the lane, kick it out to a wide open 3-point shooter, and they brick it. Julius Randle kick it out sometimes to a wide open 3-point shooter, and they brick it. We do not shoot the ball well. As a team, we shoot 42% from the field, right? And you know, I would say we usually shoot about 90 shots per game most of the time. Julius Randle averages about 16 of those shots. So it's not just Julius Randle missing, it's everybody missing. Our entire team does not shoot well. Those other teams shoot well. They have good shooters, and they shoot a high percentage from the field. Miami is one of the top shooting teams in the league. Obviously, Milwaukee is one of the top shooting teams in the league. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you can sit there and you can say, those other players did this and did that. But that's normal for them because they have a high potent offense. Both of them have a high potent offense along with a strong defense. Now, the Washington Wizards, they have a high potent offense. We don't know how much potency they're gonna have tomorrow because they don't have anybody there. All right, so let's look at this. Milwaukee Bucks.
Hey, Sam, got your question though, Sam?
Hold up 1 second. The Milwaukee Bucks, they average 120.6 points per game, number 1 offense in the league, or the top scoring offense in the league. The Miami Heat average 112.7 points per game. All right, that is number 9 in the league. Those guys hit shots. Those teams hit shots. The Milwaukee Bucks, they make 48.2% of their field goals. Right? That's number 2 in the league. The Miami Heat, they make 47.4% of their field goals. Right? That's number 3 in the league. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks, they take 91 shots a game. The Miami Heat, they take 84 shots per game. Giannis is not taking all 91 shots on any other night. Jimmy Butler's not taking all 84 shots on any other night. Both of those guys probably take 20% of those shots. It's the rest of the team that's making the shots. They have a team that teams that can put the ball in the hole. We don't. Any of our players don't shoot well from the field. Besides Mitchell Robinson, that's because everything are dunks. Well, go ahead. What was you going to say now?
What'd you say, Sam?
You said you was going to say something. You wanted to add something in. You wanted to ask me a question.
Oh, no. This is kind of like some football talk. I just want to, I know you're Giants. I don't know if you watched the game. How do you feel about it? Were you torn?
About what?
So the Giants won, but like we lost on draft position.
Man, you flipping the script on me real quick, but you flipping the script on me, man.
You're supposed to like the Giants, man.
I do like the Giants, but you're flipping the script. You talk about the Knicks, Wizards. Now you ask me about David Jones and the Giants. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy that the Giants won. I'm still a strong believer. Listen, I am still a strong believer that you do the things, and could you make sure your face is in the camera? I'm a strong believer that you do things the right way. You try to win ball games. You try to set up a culture. You try to, you always try to win. That's just my philosophy. I don't care. And you let the chips fall. You know what I'm saying? You always try to win. You always try to win.
I don't know, man. I was torn today, man.
Especially in the NFL, there is no guarantee that your number 1 draft pick or number 2 draft pick is going to. There's no guarantee in the NFL. Especially the NFL. Especially the NFL. You see more players in the NFL that come from the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th round, whatever, and end up being star players, and your top draft picks don't. You see that more in the NFL than probably anywhere. NFL is about
true. That's true.
And the NFL is way more about good coaching, good player development. It's more about player development than the NBA is, right? Good player development, good coaching, good scouting. You know what I'm saying? That's what, so I feel like you try to win. But let me get to a phone call, man. You're trying to switch it up and all that. This guy, you right, Guillermo. I am going to kick him off because you can't stay on topic. I don't know what that guy did in school, man, really. Calling you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Sid. I'm the guy who talked to you last night about trying to mine players in the second round or whatever, free agents. You were mentioning something earlier that I just wanted to touch on. I thought it was an excellent point. You talk about Beal, and when you were doing your player comparisons and reference, RJ, who was taken obviously number 3, just like Beal was, and so it made me go on the computer, and I realized. I mean, I know Beal was hurt a lot his first year, but his stats his first year, I know it's early the season, and Barrett, may have already hit the wall, but his numbers are right where Beal's are. He's not the shooter Beal is, from the perimeter yet. I think that's an excellent comparison. I'm hoping that, Barrett will be a better defender and a better player. But I think, you're very high on RJ, and I am as well. And I think, I think he has the potential and the ability, and more than anything else, I think the mindset that we haven't had in a cornerstone. We haven't had that cornerstone player since Patrick, in my opinion. I mean, I know I'm putting a lot of weight on the kid's shoulders, but he's 19 years old. He's got a great build physically. He doesn't get flustered. He wants this, And the thing is, I don't know if it's because his dad is an executive, as a basketball player in Canada. I don't know if it's because his dad played at St. John's and understands New York. But the kid doesn't even seem to get flustered by, it's almost like he understands where he is. You know what I mean? Like you talked about last night, I thought it was an excellent point. You were talking about Dennis Smith getting booed. And I don't know if that was so much about Dennis Smith as it was about the coach that night. And how Dennis Smith got, he was upset and whatever else. And he's a kid. You're right, he is. We talked about it last night, Knox, Smith, he's a kid, 19, 20 years old. You know what I mean? I mean, most of these kids they'd be interns if they worked at your job, right? These kids get you coffee if you think about it. They're kids.
Right.
And getting booed. But I feel like RJ understands where he is. He understands that the fans there, they're not paying $30 tickets on StubHub to go see Miami on Friday night against the Knicks. You got people dropping $200, $300 a seat. You have people, and this city, how they are about basketball, and how the Knicks are such a. I mean, he's not an ignorant kid. He understands. Like, listen, we got 7 wins, and this place is packed. that doesn't happen everywhere, and he understands that. And it's almost like he understands why the New York fan is so demanding. And I think he's built for this town. And I'm glad to hear that you're high on him. I'm telling you, I really hope that we handle him correctly. He doesn't seem like a prima donna. I hope we handle his team correctly, because to me, he is a cornerstone. And I just wanted to touch on that because I heard you talk about it before, and I think you're right on the money with that. Anyway, Listen, have a good night. I'm going to be at that game tomorrow night, and I'm hoping for a win. So we'll see what happens.
All right,
Thank
man.
you again.
I appreciate you. Thank you for the call. Hopefully you'll after the game, hit us up as you are, heading back home or something like that. You know what I mean? So I'd appreciate that. I think RJ Barrett, man, I feel like RJ Barrett is like a throwback type of a player. That's what I feel about him. I just feel like he's got a throwback mentality, and that's why I really like him. I feel like he has that throwback mentality. Big shout out to Yogi Bear, man. Thank you for the little dude, the little dancing pear dude that says fist bump, man. I appreciate you. Mighty Knicks, thank you for the super chat. You said, if we get one more Lakers trash, Ingram, Lonzo, or D'Lo, I swear I'm done with the Knicks. No more AAU players who can't hit their free throws. Well, I'm going to tell you what. You say no more AAU players. That's literally impossible in the NBA. You're going to get AAU players. AAU dominates amateur high school basketball, bro. You're going to get AAU players. So, sorry to tell you about that one, Marty. As far as, you're speaking about trade rumors and things like that. As far as trade rumors, I don't know. I don't think you're going to get anything here or learn about anything really serious until we get into January. Then maybe things will really get serious. Who knows what the Knicks are looking to do, what their plans are, what their ideas are. We don't know. We don't know what they're looking to do. I'm not sure they know what to do right now, because obviously the season didn't go as expected. So I don't know if they know what to do and where they want to go with moves right now. You know what I'm saying? And the moves that they want to make by the deadline. I don't think they have an idea. I mean, they got some time to think about it. I don't know what Dolan said to them about, their ability to make moves. The fact that they hired David Blatt tells me that they're going to be, they might be looking to make some moves, or they feel like they might be sticking around for the draft and stuff like that. So they might be making moves. I just don't know where their mindset is. I mean, when we look and you ask anybody, where do you go from here, from right now with what we have? I don't think they know. I just hope that they don't look to try to make some kind of blockbuster move that they feel is going to save their job. That scares me, That scares me, because that wouldn't be good for the Knicks, for them to make some kind of blockbuster move that really isn't a good move, that they feel is going to, save their job and keep them relevant to James Dolan. Who knows? Guillermo, what do you think, man?
Sorry, can you say your question again? I couldn't hear you.
I was just kind of talking about, Mighty Knicks brought up, some guys that might be in, rumors: D'Lo, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram.
I don't want Lonzo Ball, because Lonzo Ball will be another project. At this point, honestly, I don't think Lonzo Ball is really into basketball. Like, I think there's something to be said, right? You got to be, and people might get Lonzo Ball because of his father. I actually like his father. I like what he represents. I know he's made some bad, I don't say bad, but he made missteps with, whatever. But I like him because he marketed his son's on to good college. I salute him. But at this point, I don't think Lonzo's heart is into basketball. He still has some of the same issues that he's had before in terms of, being a constant point guard. I don't know what his stats are. I just remember to begin the season, he was hitting his threes a little bit. He changed his form. But again, he's not working out. The Pelicans, I know Zion is out, but he was supposed to be a guy that fit with that team, with Zion. And I'm cool on him. The thing with D'Lo, right? So this is why I don't know about D'Lo, right? So he's getting paid like 24, 25 million or something like that. And it's for 4 years,
He's
something
making
like
more
that.
than that. I think he's somewhere like around 27, 28.
Or 27, 28. I'm sorry about that. So
Yeah.
27, 28, right? And that team right now, you look at the Warriors, they're not doing well at all, right? But I think there's a concerted effort on their part to kind of, I won't say tank, but kind of preserve Draymond, preserve some of the guys, not try to go all out with these new guys, not put you know what I mean? And I also think it kind of, I don't know. It's weird because then I watch him with the Nets, right? I'm sorry. When D'Lo was with the Nets, I don't want to say something magical, sounds corny, but he was damn effective. And like I said, Jared Allen himself said, hey, Kyrie Irving can do so many things off the ball. He's amazing. Then he said, when D'Lo was here, he was getting everybody involved in the offense. You're talking about a guy who's probably had his best shooting year that year, or shooting stats that year. All his numbers, probably his career highs, everything, and yet he got that team humming. And the Knicks right now, we look at Elfrid Payne, who I think is a consummate veteran. He's good. But D'Lo, we talked about this in the offseason. I wouldn't sell the farm for D'Lo. I wouldn't give up all these first round. It's tough, but D'Lo, is he that guy that could possibly take these young guys like RJ Barrett? And, we sit here and talk about Julius Randle, how much he, takes away from the team at times with some of his selfish play at times. But then you have a guy like D'Lo who can probably command an offense and score from anywhere on the court. If you're taking what he did with the Nets last year, it's coming situation in New York. I think he's one of these bright light guys. He likes the bright light. He came to Brooklyn and he balled out. You know what I mean? So, and then you look at the free agent class, right? You look at the free agent class. You look at the draft, right? I'm not in love with Cole Anthony. I know he's hurt. Take it even his injury out. I'm not in love with what is he, 6'2"? A 6'2" guard who's basically more of a glorified scorer with not crazy athleticism. He's solid, but to me, I'm looking for a guy who facilitation is in his belt. And unfortunately, because of how AAU works, a lot of guys have to come to the NBA and get smacked with the realization that, hey, I can't be this high scoring point guard and just be this basically a combo guard starting at the one. I got to be able to facilitate, get guys involved. And when we look at a guy like D'Lo, he could do so much. It's like, damn, is he the guy? And then I don't know what I don't know what the free agency class looks like. But Dame Lillard got signed. I don't know any other point guards. So do you take a chance on D'Lo? Maybe I don't know, but I just know that they're probably looking to sell the farm. They probably want to try to get Giannis. I know that Golden State Warriors has been like rumors of trying to position to get Giannis.
Well,
and have a chip like D'Lo might be helpful to get that by maybe not this year, but next year.
So I really think that they're going to try to make a move on Giannis, and I think because I think the best way to make a move for Giannis is to move DAngelo Russell, because I don't think he's going to be I don't think he has a future in Golden State. To move DAngelo Russell for expiring contracts as soon as you can. That's what I think. Right? So then you already got almost a $30 million gap, because you have good players that's coming back next year. You can move DAngelo Russell for cap space, and next year you got Steph Curry coming back, you got Klay Thompson, you're gonna have Draymond Green, and you got a top draft pick, right? So it's not like you're worried that if you move DAngelo Russell, you're gonna have you're not gonna have anything the following year. You got stars coming back, and you're gonna get a young player, right? The whole reason I think that they went ahead, they did that sign and trade deal so that they can get DAngelo Russell, and so that they can use DAngelo Russell to bring back some assets.
Right, but those assets, you think it'll be... So instead of trying to trade D'Lo, package D'Lo and a first for Giannis, you think they'll rather trade D'Lo for expiring contracts and then have the space to bring in Giannis? Because again, D'Lo is not I don't know what his stats are, but he's still he's still a guy who can ball. It's not like you're
Right.
you're signing Joe Smith from that bum who kept
Right.
going around like the guy who got drafted by the Warriors and went to like 30 teams. D'Lo's still a viable player. So, why not get if they might fleece the Knicks, but maybe they're not. I'm just making this up. Fleece a team, get a first rounder, and some contracts,
That's what I
get
mean.
a first rounder and get Giannis. Like you could just directly get Giannis, resign Giannis to a deal.
But see, I don't think if they trade D'Lo to the Milwaukee Bucks for Giannis, right? Let's just say that time came and Giannis was like, yeah, I want to sign with Golden State. And so they did a sign and trade. I think it would be the Warriors sending out a first-round draft pick.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? I said that they would be getting – I apologize for that.
So
right.
I think what they would do is
I'm sorry.
They would free up the cap space now and get a first-round draft pick for DAngelo Russell. You see what I'm saying? So they have a hole there, and they get a first-round draft pick, and maybe they even get a young player. For example, if they go to the Knicks, they might say, well, we want Kevin Knox. You give us Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina and a first-round draft pick and your expiring contracts, and then we can make a move or something like that. So now they get a young player, maybe two young players, a first-round draft pick. I think that was the whole reason in signing DAngelo Russell, so that they would have the ability to acquire more assets. They just used that cap space left from Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant left. They used that cap space to get DAngelo Russell. Now they have someone who's averaging 26 points a game that they can say, okay, we can trade him and bring in some assets. I think that's what they're gearing up for. I think that's exactly what they're gearing up for. I'm telling you, I said a few streams back that I think they're gearing up to try to make a move for Giannis and next season.
But the whole league knows that the Warriors. Listen, don't try to act like you're Ahmad Rashad or you're some insider.
I'm not
now.
acting like anything. I said it before the whole league said anything. You can go back and check about 5 streams ago. I said, I'm telling you, this is what I think is going to happen.
Those rumors have been going on for a while. Look,
no, they haven't. I don't even want to hear it. If they've been going on for a while, I started it then.
Look at Sim trying to act like he's a YouTube Woj. Like
then I started it. Then
nice,
this is not I didn't hear anything from anyone. I just what I think. It's just what I think.
All right. Nostradamus. All right, Mr. This guy Confucius over here thinking wise with his little.
You can go back and check
Giannis insight.
Bro, it's on record. It is on record. It's on record.
Can someone
it's about a month and a half ago.
Y'all please just give Sim all the names to make him seem like it. Because these Giannis rumors have been going on for a while. I don't know when Sim said
to the Warriors. To the Warriors.
As long as it's not Carmelo,
hold up.
I can trust that Sim said it because you know how Sim feels about Carmelo. He'll go to his
Giannis to the Warriors been going on for a while.
Yes, I've heard of rumors that the team was gearing up to get
oh no!
I keep saying Giannis.
All right,
Giannis.
maybe so, but I didn't read them. I didn't read them.
You didn't
read them. So that came from my dome.
Okay, all right, Sam. All right,
that came from my dome.
Sim is not nice. Just the chat, please just expose him. He's not nice like that. Like he thinks he's
this kind of nice like that.
Sage on his little Giannis and his little Melo thing. Now he's also happy because Melo, finally has a team and a home. He's averaging 40%
check it.
now.
Okay. But hold up. You asked me a long time ago, what team do I think Melo fits? Where do I think he fits the best? And what did I say?
No, you said places. I'll give you that.
I think okay. See, that's what I'm saying.
I just don't like the fact that you're happy about it because that's your man. That's your ace boom coon. Like,
I'm just happy that my man is playing ball,
I don't like the happiness it brings to you. That
why you don't? Why? How come you don't want me to be happy? Why don't you want me to be happy? Like, what is wrong with my happiness? What's up with that?
I didn't say. See, I didn't go that far. I said the happiness you get from Melo. But again, but to bring it back though, I mean, look, right now the Knicks, it's tough because I don't trust Mills and Perry to have the agency to make certain trades because I don't want, with things I've heard of what they've done with other situations, I don't want this guy fortifying himself, right? Giving this team a bunch of bad contracts or making a bunch of moves that now it makes it hard for Dolan to fire him because now you have to kind of go with their vision, right? Or you're stuck, and then now you're trying to bring in a
Right.
new guy who has to kind of clean that up, right? You know what I mean? So I just, Lonzo Ball, not really a fan of. D'Lo, I like. I just don't like what we might have to give up in terms of
Yeah.
first rounders because this team is actually drafted decently. Like, Trier's not playing, but talent is talent. Trier is shooting, in the mid 40s, or he did at least last year. Again, as I like where we've drafted, I just don't want this Mills Perry regime unless we're not going to get some legit GM next year. I don't want these guys making a whole bunch of trades and doing a whole bunch of stuff with only 7 wins for the season.
And it like I wouldn't mind having D'Lo, but I'm just nervous about it, right? Because
we talked about this too. We felt the same way, Sim, in the summer, man. About D'Lo.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I mean, I remember in the summer I was like, I could see D'Lo and Julius Randle, and then whoever else. Maybe it could have been nice if it could have been put together. Now in the situation that we're in, you bring D'Lo in. I'm just a little nervous because then, of course, there's going to be a bunch of pressure. Not pressure. Well, yeah, pressure on him. A bunch of expectations that he's going to start turning things around. And
remember, if you remember after the whole the Nick Young thing, if you remember when they were drowning out D'Lo from celebrations and like team stuff, like on the court, it was Julius Randle who's the biggest culprit of that. Like, I don't know if you guys remember. Somebody in the chat probably remembers. I'll post a video of when I think it was Julius Randle hit like a big shot or something like that, and D'Lo tried to celebrate, and Randle just ignored him. Now, it's one thing to you understand growth, and look, these guys that you're talking about, teenagers who getting paid millions of dollars and they never really got guidance. Like what he did to Nick Young, very stupid. Don't get me wrong. But again, he's a young kid. And Nick Young is dumb enough for trying to wife up Azalea Banks and not Azalea Banks, Iggy Azalea, whatever her name is. But the thing about is that with Randall, right? This is what I talk about with leadership, right? A true leader would have said, all right, we know you messed up. Let's try to bring you in because one, you are still a talented player, but let it be us that kind of molds you and guides you back. And when you do stuff like that on the court, you kind of embarrass a kid. And we've seen in the NBA, Sim, and thank God he actually went into a situation like I think the Brooklyn Nets actually saved his career because he saw him lose confidence. When guys in the NBA lose confidence, look at Darren Williams. Once he went to Brooklyn, he lost confidence. He couldn't shoot anymore. I remember Darren used to be one of the top point guards in the league with Utah. You know what I mean? So Julius Randle and D'Lo might not work out. And then now you have, to me, I still think there's a faction where it's like Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, and then you might have D'Lo teaming with RJ Barrett to not be that with Randle. If Randle still has any animosity the
only thing I'll say about back then with Julius Randle is he was probably 20, 21 at that time too. So we all forget that he's only 25 years old.
That is very true. But remember, Sim, at that time, Julius Randle started to improve, right? I mean, he lost weight. He was doing that the whole diet thing.
I'm just saying mature-wise.
He started getting more effective at the basket. They were actually building around. I don't say building around Julius, but he was one of their core pieces. Like, we're developing as a team. Remember that Lakers team won 35, 38 games.
I mean, I'm just speaking.
I'm not saying he should be a leader. I don't want to put like that, but
mature-wise. I'm just speaking at that time, maturity. He was still 20, 21 years old or something like that. I mean, because D'Lo is what? D'Lo is 24?
D'Lo is 23. 23. Damn, he's
23 years old. He's still very, very young. He's still really young, man. He's 23 years old.
D'Lo seems like a veteran, like a 10-year veteran, and this dude is only 23 years old.
He's 23 years old, still really young. So, and that's the thing. You're like, wow, he's still really young. He's averaging 26 a game. Yes, for the Warriors, and they're not good, but you could see, it's tough, man.
Put it like this, I'll ask you, I know you got to go to other people, right? I'll ask you this question. If D'Lo gave you, say we go after Anthony Edwards, who I think we should favor in the draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have Anthony Edwards, right? And you're assured that D'Lo comes to New York, where he did well in Brooklyn, right? It was more of a low-key situation. But now you have a coach, a real coach, so-called real coach in Mike Miller, right? Like he had in Atkinson, right? Yeah, you don't have this superstar in the team to kind of mess you up, right? Or kind of, mess up your strategy. You can coach how you want. If D'Lo gives you what he gave with the Brooklyn Nets, right? Do you trade a first rounder, a future first rounder for D'Lo?
I mean,
The,
if the
the, the
Knicks,
uncertainty of him not performing at that level and getting guys involved is not there. But you lose a first rounder, but you might have a team that might be in the playoffs because you're going to build around Anthony Edwards, RJ Barrett,
well,
D'Lo, Mitch.
I'll trade one of those Dallas first rounders.
Okay, and also I think I would say maybe yes because you're also trading the more. I mean, I expect us to trade Morris for a first round. I think it'd be stupid for us not to capitalize on that. So
yeah, I would definitely trade one of those Dallas first rounders. And if you can trade Morris and get a first rounder, and then you got one, I'd do that quick. My question would be, what young player am I giving up? Because they're gonna want a young player back. What young player are you giving up?
You got to give up. You got to give up Knox, either Knox or Mitch, and I'm not giving up Mitch.
Not giving up Mitch because, but I'd hate to give up Knox right now.
But bro, look at this dude Duncan Edwards. I'm not trying to overhype him. I understand he's this guy came from D3. You know what I mean? I think that you can get young D3 players because just how the game is moving. I think you're gonna the crop of players you can get specialists to come in.
You can.
And if you run more off ball like he do at times, you can get those players, man. Knox to me, no offense, and Mark gets on this, and I gotta agree with him. Yes, he's very young. And he can shoot the three ball when I know he's had a few bad games, but I saw the progress he was making. The thing with Knox, I saw a game a few games ago on a 3-2 fast break. He lost the ball, not in front of him, but almost like he forgot he was dribbling the ball. You know what I mean? It's tough because he had the same motor issues at Kentucky.
Yeah,
you can't teach a kid the love of the game. It has to come or it's not there. And I'm not saying he doesn't like basketball, but his awareness is piss poor. And it's just not.
I get it. But I mean, I'm going to continuously point back to the players that we look at who either came into the, besides a few, but a lot of players that we look at that came into the league and killed right away, or it took a couple years and finally they came into it. They're older.
Agree 1,000%. But how many of those guys? You know what I'm saying?
They're older.
I don't know
off the top
of my head, but how many of those guys can you say, all right, they came into the league, right? And their first few years, they were bad, not because of talent per se, but because their motor was low. And then for some reason they turned it on. Because that's the issue with Knox. It's not talent. I don't care about he's not averaging 20 points or 25. I'm not one of those guys. Like, I give these guys time, let them develop. We haven't even been using Knox in what he works best at, which is off ball, screens, curls, all that stuff. We do it sometimes with him, So in terms of that aspect, yes, I agree with you 1,000%. But his motor and awareness, RJ Barrett to me, even if he goes 4 for 17, I know it's not for lack of trying. I know it's not a lack of awareness. He knows what's happening on the court. Sometimes he can't defend a certain guy because they're making absurd shots. Tatum, Kyrie, Trae Young the other night we did a little crossover, whatever. But I never feel like RJ Barrett doesn't know where the hell his man is. When I watch Knox, it's almost as like, I want to just ask him. I wish I could just freeze frame it and say, what are you thinking about right now? Where's your man? You just want to, it's like, I can't be doing that on the court when things are moving like that, man.
I get it. I get it. But this kid is growing up, man. Everyone has their own path of development. I think it would be, I'm not ready to give up on Kevin Knox. There's a lot of people that are ready to give up on him already, 30 games into his sophomore season. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ready to give up on him. You see flashes of him being aggressive and this and that, and maybe you got to give it a time to see if it clicks for him to be able to activate it. Like, I have a girl on my basketball team right now, right? Mm-hmm. When she's going up the floor, It always looks like she's holding back. She's never, ever going 100, going full speed. She's never activating all of her speed, never activating all of her burst, right? And people will say, well, she's slow. She doesn't have a motor to do it. She hasn't learned how to activate it, though, because I pulled her to the side, and she just got on our team. I pulled her to the side the other day. I said, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to get down the floor and back, okay? And I'm going to turn on this clock. As soon as I say go, you go. I want you to get down the floor and back, because I told her, I said, you need to learn how to activate your speed. You never activate it. Maybe you don't know how to activate it. Start the clock, told her to go, boom. She got back in 9 seconds. She hasn't been taught how to activate that speed. You know what I'm saying? And you would say the same thing about her if you seen her play on the floor. You know what I'm saying? That she lacks a motor. But she hasn't learned how to activate that. That's the thing about it.
You're gambling, right? With that person, right? And there are people that sometimes they get it. Sometimes it just clicks, right? But the situation I was pointing at, right? So think about this, right? Imagine a situation where you have a D'Lo, a Anthony Edwards at the 2, a RJ at the 3, whoever at the 4, Randall, if you want to have him at the 4, and the Mitch at the 5, and the kid comes in as a plus multiplier and makes D'Lo, I'm talking about, and he makes everybody around him. Now you have versus you're banking on a guy to finally get it and click, and at his position, because the small forward position, unless you're one of these top guys, Kawhi Leonard, the Portrait, you're not necessarily a plus multiplier for the team unless you're this dynamic two-way player. Versus a point guard who we've all been searching for. We all been talking about, hey, we need a point guard. We see him do it on a big level, and we see him do it he listened to coaching. He humbled himself for that Nets year, right? He hasn't been a problem with the Warriors. I know you had the weed thing, but whatever. You know what I mean? There's a certainty that you get with D'Lo, and he can be dynamic, and he can be a scorer and a facilitator, which is somewhat actually of a rarity in today's game versus you're banking on Knox to finally become aware on both ends of the floor.
So let me ask you this.
And that might take years versus you're going to get that, and you're only giving up maybe one of these future picks, and you get a guy in Anthony Edwards who might be a two-way player coming in. So you have him, you have Anthony Edwards coming in, two-way player. You have RJ Barrett, who's blossoming as a two-way player, and a guy that I think is going to be a leader for this team, and guys seem to galvanize around. And then you have D'Lo, who makes his teammates better, who plays unselfish, but for some weird reason, you can also be a go-to scorer and be dangerous.
Well,
and you could sneak into the playoffs and develop from there. I'm just looking at the big picture. I'd rather bank on that than Knox coming through. And then we have to still go out and look for a point guard. We still got to draft the right guys to put around. And hopefully Knox, then you're hoping all that stuff comes in and Knox becomes a premier player while trying to get to the playoffs.
I hear you. And I'm going to tell you this. If that happens and they do trade Knox to the Warriors, they're going to activate everything for him. Watch, because you got Steph Curry, you got Klay Thompson. There's going to be a natural spot there for him at that, because I think Kevin Knox is going to end up being a 4, not a 3. That's me. I think he's going to end up being a 4. When it's all said and done, when he's about 25 years old, he's going to be a 4, I think, not a 3.
He has no back to the basket game. How can he be an effective 4? He has no back to the basket game.
He could be a stretch 4.
So he's a light 4. He's going to be running. He doesn't defend well. When you're a 4 in this game, I understand.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, look, if you're a 4, he has a harder time, kind of like with Melo. He guarded 4s better than he guarded 3s. I think Kevin Knox is going to be the same way. And I'm talking about when he's about 25 years old. He can develop. He's 20 years old. By the time he's, reached that 24, 25 years old player, I think he's going to be a 4. I believe he can develop a back to the basket. He's got all the talent in the world. He can develop a back to the basket game.
But Sim, let me kill your point right there. Let me kill your point right here, right? Because you're talking about the Warriors, right? It's kind of like the girlfriend thing, right? Like, say please, no one get mad at me, right? But if you dated a chick who was not so great in shape, right? You gotta if you tell her, hey, honey, I love you, even though, she's out of shape, whatever. But you say, I love you, honey, blah, blah. She'll never change, right? But basically, if you say like, yo, dude, like this is unacceptable, man. You're letting yourself go. This is not how we met. And she goes to another man and she does better with the other man. You can't sit there and say, oh, I lost a good one. Like I should have like did this and did that. And maybe she would have changed. No, she only changed because she got the realization, but she can't go back to where she's saying that hurt came from. So when you look at Knox, yes, if we had what the Golden State Warriors had in terms of system, culture, all that stuff that could basically develop Knox into that guy, yes, but that's not the Knicks.
But that's going to be with
like
any player. That's going to be with any player that comes in. That's not the Knicks. That's going to be with any player that comes in, any young player that comes in. Let me get to some of these guys down here. Nate,
timer sometimes, man.
Go ahead, man.
So y'all talking about Knox right now?
Well, we're just talking about, if we were to trade for D'Lo, who would go in the trade? I mean, Knox probably would be the guy that the Warriors would want, and I think they would want him because they would see the possible potential.
Oh, absolutely. They'd be stupid not to take a guy that young with that kind of talent. But the thing is, Sim, as a Knicks fan right now, what's our biggest need? Is it to continue to hopefully Knox continues to develop, or do we need a point guard?
I'm just saying, I would try to throw somebody else in there besides Knox. If they called and said, okay, what are we doing? I say, well, I'd try to do something else. Maybe I'd try to do something else. If they said Knox and it came down to it and I really wanted him, I would probably do it. I'm just saying I wouldn't want to do it. I would try to.
Yeah.
I would try something else.
The only way we don't take Knox is if maybe we can get rid of Randall or Morris, because they have bigger contracts. But I mean, they're going to want a young piece if they're going to give away a young piece. I mean, that's just the way the NBA works.
Yeah.
The thing with D'Lo is, let's look at the reality right now. There is not a big market for point guards, especially young point guards that are good. People want to talk about the draft. Okay, there's Cole Anthony out there. Cole Anthony's 6'1", 6 foot, maybe 6'2" at the best. I don't want to take him that high. I don't think he's a game changer type of point guard or a point guard that's gonna lead us into the future. So, and then on top of that, the free agent class, there's nothing available. This is going to be probably one of the weakest free agent classes in a long time. So the Knicks are going to have to trade, or we're going to be stuck in the same conundrum that we were stuck last year in, with all 3 point guards that underperform, that play sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes, unexplainable. I mean, they got to figure this out. I don't think they can sit on their laurels and just expect something to come along. They got to make a move.
I agree. Well, I mean, they don't have to make the move right now.
You don't think so? I mean, the window to find a good point guard, where is it?
Well, I mean if the Warriors don't trade D'Lo, I mean, listen, whilst they're talking, they're going to get an idea of what's going to happen. If the Warriors don't trade D'Lo at the trade deadline, then he may be available during the summer. I mean, you can make trades during the summer too. You know what I'm saying? So, it doesn't have to happen at the trade deadline. It could happen after the trade deadline. It could happen during the summer after the season too. So it doesn't have to happen at the trade deadline.
I mean, I don't know. I would try to make the trade as soon as you hear he's available.
That's also the thing. The Warriors said they're not taking calls for D'Lo right now.
So we hear that right now.
They said they're not taking calls for him. So we'll see. We'll see how they go. In the long run, I don't think he's going to be there, but he's going to be with Golden State. And the Knicks should clearly have their eye on him. I don't know why they didn't try to sign him over the summer before the Warriors got to him. I don't know what all of that was, what was taking place. I don't know why they didn't try to sign him over the summer though.
Well, we gotta figure something out because, like I said, none of the point guards we have on the roster right now are signed going forward very long. I think Peyton's on a 1-1.
Yeah, D'Lo.
Dennis-
Dennis Smith Jr. and Frank Ntilikina both expire next season.
Yeah, and the Knicks aren't gonna repay those guys. So
Let me ask you this: is D'Lo the franchise point guard?
Is he the franchise point guard?
Yeah. Because if you are trading for D'Lo, you're trading for a very hefty contract for the next 4 years. So you better know and really feel. I mean, you can't know for sure, but you better really feel. If you're trading a first-round pick, you're trading Kevin Knox, and then of course other cap space. You better really feel like this guy is not a stopgap, and he is your future point guard for the next 10 years.
I would not. I'm not gonna say he's not a stopgap. That's for sure. Still, he's young. I mean, people have to understand the guy is barely 25 years old. He's a baller. I mean, if people watched him in the playoffs last year against the Sixers, I mean, he took a really crappy Nets team that wasn't even that good, the playoffs, and then they fought for a couple of games against a Sixers team, and a lot of it was because of him. Yes,
I feel you. I feel you. I'm just asking the question because if you're giving up.
He's
if
worth
you're giving
it.
up that,
who else out there?
I'm just asking the question. If you're giving that up, you better be sure that he's going to be your point guard. You know, you feel solid that he's going to be your point guard that's going to take you there. You know what I'm saying? Evergreen, what's going on, man?
Listen.
What's your take? What's your take on it?
My take is, first off, I agree with you in regards to Knox should be playing the 4. I've been saying this since damn preseason. Knox should be playing the 4. A lot of people think that he's right in that spot at the 3. But if you pay attention to the way he plays formidable defense, he's playing them in the paint, getting blocks, harassing defenses in the paint. I think Knox should be playing the 4. He gets beat on the wing all day, every day, and 4s are not playing on the wing. 4s are primarily playing in the paint, right? It's something he has this thing. I don't know what it is, regardless of what wing he is, but most of the time it's on the right wing. He's on the right wing, gives up the baseline every single time. I don't know why, but he does.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, he could be playing the 4, right? He's got the height for it. But he's 20 years old. He weighs, 215 pounds, 220 pounds? Like, he's a small guy right now, but that weight is going to come on him with age. And as long as he maintains the speed, then he can be a stretch 4. He already has his eyes on trying to shoot over 40% throughout the year. He can turn himself into a stretch 4 who can slash, right? So now we can move on to this D'Lo idea. With that being said, I am a firm believer in working with the youth, specifically because we've never done it. Like, I don't know. I've been a Knicks fan since '97. I don't ever remember us doing anything with the youth under this Mills era. So I think that we should stay with our youth. Period. If that means going after another point guard in the draft and taking that chance, cool. I'm cool with that. If that means getting rid of Peyton, getting rid of one of our other point guards and going after and taking a gamble on the draft, I'm cool with that. But I am not cool with starting this idea of let's start trading our youth again. And with that being said, Kevin Knox is off the market. Money Mitchell is off the market. RJ obviously is off the market. And for all intents and purposes, for defense only, which I've been saying, Frank is off the market, right? Everybody else can go. Everybody else can go, to include Randall. If you want Randall to go, or if you want Randall to stay, then Kevin Knox needs to come off the bench for Randall. Period. They are young. We are a young team. And if we get rid of Morris and make a trade, right, then so be it. If we get rid of DSJ and make a trade, then so be it. But at some point in time, I foresee a successful team in its future starting from the 2021 season with our team looking like we're having 2 veterans over the age of 26 and everybody else under the age of 25, with the exception of if we keep Randall. I think we need to not necessarily start over, but stay the course with this young movement and potentially move Morris and move Peyton or move DSJ and try to get something back, because this idea that everyone has of making all these other crazy trades and getting rid of the youth is just, it blows my mind how everyone is just like, yes, we have a young team, we have something we can build with, and then we get a third of the way through the season and everyone's already trying to abandon ship as if they thought we were going to make the playoffs or do anything crazy. Why would you start making all of these trades now, knowing that this is a development year, right? We know this is a development year. So why would you start making all of these trades now with our youth? You guys knew we weren't going to make the damn playoffs anyway. It literally blows my mind, Sim. Blows my mind. So frustrated.
The only thing I'll say there is that D-Lo would still be part of that youth movement, though, because he's 23. He's very young. He's still very young.
Right. I agree with that. And I'm cool with that. But if they're talking about taking any of our youth to add D-Lo, the answer is a big fat hell no. Right? Take our vets, sign our vets, and now Golden State has a positive chance in doing something strong in the playoffs next year, because we know they're not doing anything with it this year. So if I had my way with it, I would move Morris and Peyton and allow Morris and Peyton to go to Golden State with an offer, right? And even I would allow Morris and Peyton, and if we have second round picks, give that up too, just to throw in, right? But this idea of getting rid of our youth to trade to another team just so that they can be the Knicks can once again be a laughingstock when that player goes over to Steve Kerr and becomes a hell of a player, and we're all looking at him like, see, look what you should have did, Perry. You should have kept them over here, right? Now we look like idiots once again. So I would rather not look like idiots and take a chance on something that we've never done before, something brand new, right? And maintaining this continuity with this youth and watching these guys grow, right? And I would also add that if we're only a third of the way through the season and we got, 7 wins, we're on track to already being a better team than last year. Just saying. What are we, 32 games in? I'm just saying.
I mean, we're on track to get about 22.
So
21,
if we win 18 games, again, I'm not Mr. Super Optimistic. I am like, look at the bright side. If we win 18 games this year, we already did better than last year.
Did better, right?
We got these crazy contracts.
Okay.
So stay the course, people. Stop losing your damn minds. Yes, we're going to lose a whole bunch of games. I promise you we're going to lose a whole bunch of games. However, allow these guys to struggle and allow these guys to learn while they're young, so that when they get the age of 25, 26, so when they're all in their prime and they're all strong and they're all injury-free, right, we can see what they really got to do later on.
Yeah.
As I drop the mic.
Let me get to a couple phone calls, see what these people thinking. Caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Yo, what up, Sim? How's it going, man?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
Pretty good. Can I jump on this Russell chat real quick?
Yeah, jump in, man. Tell me what you think.
Yeah. I mean, I know you like Russell. You know, I hear you say you like him. I don't like him that much. He's a brutal defender, and he's not a natural point guard. I want a point guard that's he's not a guy who's gonna make the other players around him better. He's more of a, score first point guard. At least from whenever I watch him play. But would I give up a Knox for him? Absolutely. I would, in a heartbeat. I would give up Knox for him. Russell's, like you said, he's still young. I mean, I like him way more than Kevin Knox. That's for sure. You know what? And then Dallas pick, I would do that.
Well, let me stop. Let me stop for 1 second though. I can guarantee you, the second 30 games into DAngelo Russell's second season, you probably wasn't like this about him.
What do you mean?
Right? Talking about, like you said, I would definitely give up Knox for him. We act like he's not 30 games into his second season, man. 30
Yeah.
games into his
Yeah, but
sophomore
even then,
season.
Russell showed a lot more than like Knox hasn't shown me nothing on the floor, man. Like that he's going to be even a decent, but even a good bench player. He hasn't shown it, you know.
Man,
That's just my opinion. I'm not a genius. It's just from what I see.
people don't understand. I don't think people really understand the
I know
leap that
he's
you
young,
take.
I get it. But there's a lot of 20-year-olds
this
that
is
show a lot more than Kevin Knox on the floor.
But this is my thing. This is my thing. Everybody just says what you just say.
Yeah.
I understand that he's young. I understand. No, you must not. Because when a player, this kid can't drink yet. He cannot go buy alcohol. Okay?
Yeah.
There's so much stuff inside that he's got to learn how to do to be to develop and to grow.
Yeah,
John Calipari told us. He said this player, that player might be better than Knox the first 2 or 3 years. You got to let Knox grow because he's a kid. He wasn't just talking about, because
training for anything. I'm not saying for a second.
Listen,
I'm just saying when I train for Russell, even though I'm not a huge fan of Russell, I would definitely train him for DAngelo Russell, though.
He wasn't just talking about
Russell's 29, like you said. It feels like he's old, but he's still really young.
Yeah, but listen, he wasn't just talking about with Kevin Knox, the physical standpoint. He's talking about the maturation level as well. You know what I'm saying? He is a naturally reserved kid. And sometimes you gotta learn how to, you gotta grow up just to get confident.
Yeah.
You gotta grow up just to get confident, and we're not letting our guys do that. We're not.
Yeah.
We want a superstar so bad. We want a guy to come in so bad, and we're so jealous of all these other teams when they draft somebody, and somebody comes in like. Donovan Mitchell, was drafted with Utah and he comes in and he's killing it. You know what?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have drafted him. We didn't. We want so bad for that to happen that we take it out on our young players. We take it out on the players, and it's not their fault that they were drafted. If the Knicks came and drafted you and said, I'm going to give you $3 million a year and I'm going to draft you with the 8th pick, you go too. So, but then as fans, and we get mad and we take it out on the players, and it's not really their fault. They're just trying to play and make it. But we get mad at them.
You
know what I'm saying? And we don't give these guys, we don't provide.
I think Knox is a 4 right now. I think he's a stretch 4. He's not. He can't defend the small forwards. He's not athletic enough to guard the threes. He should, he's not too strong yet, but I think he should be a 4 even today.
Right, but listen, but we don't provide. He is a 4. I think he's a 4. Yeah, but we don't provide a nurturing environment for these players, man. And it's hard. Yeah. It's just hard for them to grow. We don't give them a chance to grow. You got to give them a chance. In today's league,
no pressure, no media, no that, he would probably be better than he is there than he is here with us now. You know what I mean?
Right. Today's league is so different than it was years ago because guys are coming in younger and not mature.
Yeah.
The big difference, man.
Can I ask you something real quick? I know people are saying, we can't trade for this guy because of his contract. We can't trade for Chris Paul because of his contract. But who's coming here anyway? Who are we saving our cap space for? Next year's free agency is terrible. The year after that is an amazing free agent class. That's what everyone's waiting for. Greek Freak and LeBron and Paul George. How many times are we going to go through this? I don't see, when is it going to change? We're saving our cap space, and are any of these star players ever going to come? Might as well trade for a guy that can play that has a big contract, because I don't see.
Because his contract.
When is going to come here?
Because Chris Paul's contract.
We can't trade for a big contract because we're waiting for Greek Freak in a couple of years, but. He's coming here,
It's not even about. It's not about the Greek Freak, though. It's not just about the Greek Freak. It's about setting the precedent, right? You practice. You got to practice certain things, even not just on the basketball court, right? just in the way that you do business. It's good practice, right? Best practice. That's why it's called practice. You practice certain things. So if you're going to practice being smart with your money, you don't say, well, you know what? We can throw this money away because, you know, we're not going to get this free agent next year and da-da-da-da-da. So we can just throw money away. That's not good practice. Because then when it comes time to really having to make a decision and use your money, you haven't practiced how to use your money frugally, right? You haven't practiced it. So now you don't know how to do it when the time comes. Everything is about good practice. Making that trade for Chris Paul, to me, isn't good practice when it comes to your money, right? Because even still, I think his contract isn't up until 2022 anyway.
Right,
so now you owe him $40 million
option or something. I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying in general, like.
But hold up.
We can't trade for him because he's making money in 2 years when that's the great free agent class and this and that. But you know what I mean? Like we keep saving our cap space, and the Greek Freak, is he coming here in 2 years?
But it's not like George, I said though. It's not.
Like,
it's not just about the Greek Freak. It's not just about the Greek Freak. It's not just about Giannis. It's about good practice with your money. Just good practice. You know what I'm saying? So that when the time comes, you know how to use your money. It's about good practice. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, so you go say, well, we're not going to get anybody next year. So we can go ahead and just give trade for Chris Paul, give up an asset to trade for Chris Paul because you might have to give up an asset. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe you take one back. If we take one back, that could be good practice. It could be, maybe. But now you still got Chris Paul for $40 whatever million in year 2022. That's after whatever free agent signing class. I don't think that's smart. Even if you're taking back one draft pick, you can get that draft pick elsewhere maybe. I just don't think it's smart to tie up that amount of money to him all the way until, 2022 or whenever his contract is over with. I just don't think it's smart. I think it's a good idea. I know what he can bring. I just don't think it's a good idea right now. It doesn't make sense to me. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, son. I think we need to be patient as Knicks fans. Everybody's talking about 5 Mills, 5 Perry, trade the youth. I think we're on the right path now, and we just need to be patient. When you're making progress, sometimes you're going to have bumps in the road. We hired Fizdale. He might have been the wrong coach, but I think we're on the right path now. What's your opinion on that?
I mean, the right path as far as having the youth, you mean? And really trying.
Yeah. As far as having the youth, because we haven't won anything since the 70s.
Right.
I think if you get rid of Perry and Mills, you're going to get somebody else, and they're going to make trades, put us in a different direction.
Right. I think as long as they stick to, just dealing with the youth, then yeah, it's always hard to say with the Knicks. If they always say one thing and then they pull out and do something different. You know what I mean? I like I like the position they put us in financially, and we got young players. And what they did over the summer, I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with it because we're still flexible.
I think they made a mistake with Fizdale, but mistakes are going to happen.
Yeah.
I think Miller's the right guy.
Miller, you said Miller's the right guy. Yeah, I mean,
I think so.
He might be. We'll see how. We'll see if he continues to be the right guy, and if he can continue to put these guys together. Man, I'm hoping that he is because we need some stability.
Right. Okay, you had a great show, man.
I appreciate you, my call. Thank you.
All right.
And I seen somebody in the chat say, Chris Paul has OKC in the playoffs. I'm going to tell you what, Chris Paul doesn't have them in the playoffs by himself. Yes, they are 15 and 14. right? And they've won the last 4 games. Just because he has OKC in the playoffs does not mean that it's going to be the same thing with the Knicks. All right, these guys had talent, more talent than the Knicks. You could take Chris Paul off of OKC and they still have more talent than the Knicks. Not to mention a coach that's been there for a good number of years. So they have some stability. So that Chris Paul is not the only reason that they're in the playoffs. He's part of it, yes. But he's not the only reason that they're in the playoffs. He didn't get them there by himself. They have some stability there. They have a coach that's been there for 3-4 years or whatever it is. They have players that's been there for a while. So he went into a situation, he was traded there, but he went into a situation where there was already stability. For the most part. Okay, Paul George came and left, Carmelo came and left, right? But for the most part, he went into a situation with stability. That makes all the difference in the world. He'd be coming to the Knicks without an ounce of stability. It's not going to make a difference this season. A little bit of a difference. Now, can you say that, he can be a guy that's helping to develop that culture going forward? Maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe, but I'm not, I'm not going to pay him $44 million in 2022. There's other ways that you can get it done. Not by giving Chris Paul $44 million all the way up until 2022. That's going to hamper your ability to make moves, right? Because everyone keeps talking about cap space for Giannis. I'm not talking about cap space for Giannis. I seen the guy in the YouTube chat, keep saying, why do we keep having this pipe dream about Giannis? I agree with you 100%. Right? My idea is not to save the cap space for Giannis. My idea is to keep flexibility because we're not in a situation to commit this super long-term money to someone, $44 million to someone. You commit that kind of money when you're a championship team. Right? The reason why OKC did it because, they trade for Russell Westbrook and some other things came back. Right? They got some other assets and talent that came back to the team. So they figured they'd bite the bullet for a little while. As they figure out how they're going to start over and move forward. You know what I'm saying? But it's not about Giannis. It's about keeping that cap clean so that you can make moves. You're flexible to make moves. And I'm not talking about $44 million moves. Other moves that can bring you back assets. And it could involve taking on, okay, I'll say this to you. If Chris Paul's contract ended in 2021, the summer of 2021, his contract ended then. Because, yes, it's going to be a bigger free agent class. And I'm not just talking about Giannis. I'm talking about adding players that's going to build your team. Okay, I get it. Because 2020, there's nothing there that you want. You keep them until 2021. I get that. But if you got Chris Paul on your books to 2022, it's going to be hard to move that $44 million because everyone is keeping their cap clear for 2021. It's going to be hard to move that $44 million. So even though he's an expiring contract, it's going to be hard to move it. That's all I'm saying, man. I just don't think it's a good idea to mess around with him. Mighty Knicks, thank you for the super chat. You said, y'all hate D-Lo like THJ. Trust me. He's a chucker, no D. I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. It's definitely an interesting time right now for the New York Knicks, man. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. we'll see in the next couple months. It's going to be a lot of stuff out there. A lot of stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff out there. We're going to have to sift through it all and see what happens with this front office. See if they're smart. Hopefully they'll be smart, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to head up. I'm heading up out of here. You know, heading up out of here. I'm going to let these guys get a couple of last words in, and then I'm rolling. All right, I got to get up, practice tomorrow. I got practice at 10 o'clock tomorrow. I want to make sure I can get there on time and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Evergreen, you want to give us some last words, man? Real quick, Evergreen, give us some last words. Evergreen, you there? I don't know if he can hear me. I'm going to come to Nate. Then you guys can let Evergreen know I'm coming to him. Nate, give me some last words, man.
Yeah, man. See what happens with the game against the Wizards. I mean, you know, on paper it sounds like we should win the game, but you just never know. We'll have to see how the game goes. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I got. Oh, by the way, the reason why Isaiah Thomas got suspended is because he went into the stands.
Because you went into the stands?
Yeah.
Come on,
That
man.
was an altercation. It was an altercation with a fan, or not a fan. I'm sorry, with a spectator of the game, and yeah,
Right.
so he got suspended for 2 games. So that's why.
Stupid.
Yep, exactly.
Stupid. He's got to make better decisions than that. Stupid.
Yep.
I never liked him, though. I never liked him. I don't know. I never liked him.
Little man syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It is. Exactly. Yeah. Guillermo, some last words, man.
Yeah, man. Yo, this is a good show. I like how we talked about different things. Me and Evergreen were like talking about the same thing with Knox. I made the comparison because we we're saying how we don't. He doesn't want to get rid of Knox, and I was like, I don't see the same potential in Knox as I saw in say Trevor Ariza when Larry Brown didn't play much. But well, I mean, it's a good episode, man. Tomorrow, like I said, this is a game where we should see the coaches. We should see Mike Miller show out in terms of we should dominate this team. This should be another Hawks team. They only have one superlative player, and he's less of a plus multiplier to everybody than Trae Young was. So, I'm looking for the Knicks to win tomorrow. I hope it's not a so-called trap game. But again, this is play team ball, smart defense, play Bill back, let him shoot, but force him to shoot until he's hot. Same thing with Ish Smith; he can't really shoot, and we should get the win, man.
Hope so, man. Especially because I live here in DC. I need this.
That would be, yeah. That. Are you going to the game?
No, it's in New York.
Oh, it's in New York. Oh, crap. All right.
But I might be going to the game on the 28th though.
Okay, all right.
Might be going to the game.
You should do it if you could do the what's the name again? Like you did the preseason.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, hold up. Don't, because I don't want you to get any trouble.
Nah. I think in the summer it had to do with. I think it had to do with whoever runs the Las Vegas league. It was them. So
okay.
The NBA, as long as I'm not showing the game or nothing like that, they don't care.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, if I do go to the game, then I probably will. I'll probably stream from the game.
And this time, guys, and I bought one too. Bring an external charger.
Yes.
It is a great investment. You can live for, and it's given that you should have at least two, just because you have so much equipment, and you might be here and there or whatever. But bring an external charger because it'd be good to have good game by game play, none of that stuff while you're there. I mean, we're watching the game too, but you can see things probably better from a different.
I have an external charger that gives me like five chargers or something like that. So I'm gonna make sure I bring it. Right. Last time I forgot, but I'm gonna make sure I bring it this time.
All right, bro. Salute to you, man. Salute to the chat. Peace, guys.
No doubt. Catch you tomorrow night. And then Evergreen, give us some last words, man.
Last words. Stay with Knox. Free ISO. RJ, stop shooting threes. DSJ, attack. Frank, keep doing what you're doing. Morris, fix yourself. Mitch, stay on your damn feet. Alfred, keep doing what you're doing. Bobby Portis, I don't care that you had a 30-point game. It's about that time for you to go. Taj Gibson, we can't get rid of you because you do good things for Brooklyn. Reggie Bullock, hurry the hell up. Let's see. Who am I missing?
Randall.
Randall, you're starting to grow on me a little bit. You know, you cut off on the turnovers, and I feel a little bit better about you. Oh no, Randall, stop shooting threes. There you go.
Stop shooting threes.
Randall, stop shooting threes. And Dot, it's okay. Had a bad game. Get a pass. Who am I missing? Trade Ellington. Morris, if you don't fix your stuff, we're trading you too. Although you're the best player we got right now. And we need a center and a point guard. That's it.
There we go. All right, man.
We're not making the playoffs, people. Relax. We're not making the playoffs.
Right.
This is a perfect opportunity to go with the youth movement, and I'll say it again. No one's off limits except for the youth. If you got more than 4 or 5 years in this league, you are expendable. Period.
All right, man. And then Isaiah, real quick, man. No soliloquies. Have you looked up the word soliloquy yet?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. I didn't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll look it up. Today, technically it's tomorrow, but I'll look it up today.
All right. So tomorrow night, I'm going to expect a definition tomorrow night. Soliloquy.
What? Soliloquy?
Soliloquy, man. You can say it.
Can you say it in a sentence?
I've said it in a million sentences to you. Like, we don't need a whole soliloquy when you're getting ready to talk about a player. You know what I'm saying?
Soliloquy. Okay.
Yeah, man. Give us some last words, man. Huh?
I'll let you know by the end of tonight. Final thoughts. You know what, Sim? I do have to apologize to. I'm not gonna apologize to you, but I will apologize to you. To my thoughts during the summer, I didn't think. I wasn't really high on DAngelo Russell. But if I knew what I knew then, I would 100% prefer him over Julius Randle. 110% would have preferred him over Julius Randle.
Bro, you don't even make sense. You don't even make sense.
I'm tired,
you still
man.
sleep.
Andrew,
you still sleep. You said if I knew what I knew then, obviously you did know what you knew then. You knew it then. You said if I knew what I knew then, I would have. I'm gonna let you go ahead and get some sleep, bro. I'm gonna let you go ahead and get some sleep. You need sleep, man. You need sleep. If I knew what I knew then. I don't know what this guy was. Whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, man, I don't know. You know, Isaiah's always on some stuff, man. Gregory Castillo, thank you for the super chat. He said, love the show and the back and forth. Nothing but love. Yeah, it's all love. We do a lot of going back and forth and arguing and all that stuff with each other, but it's all love, man. I appreciate you and all the guys that join the show. Have a great time, man. I'm out of here. I will catch you guys tomorrow night. Remember, the game starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. All right, so it's a little bit earlier than normal. So don't forget about that. And have a great start to your work week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. Peace.
That's the gist.